Well, obviously we've been following the case right through in the investigation, because all the teachers that gave evidence, because they had called it out initially and were called to give evidence in the investigation, had a union executive member with them throughout the hearing, so that's why we know about it. And I have to say that we are proud of the teachers that did the right thing, that called it out at the time, and basically it's raised a lot of questions. Even the school, the teachers that called it out reported it to the SLT of the school, Westside School. SLT did the right thing and reported it to the department. However, it does raise a lot of questions with our profession as to why things weren't acted upon, perhaps in the correct manner. And these are the questions we want answering.
You say the teachers and senior management at Westside School highlighted the teachers' conduct and reported this to the Department of Education following all safeguarding procedures at all times. So do you believe that the incident was handled well by the school itself and that the blame lies with the department?
Well, I don't want to assume anything, but certainly from what I've seen and the fact that we were involved in the investigation and that we've spoken to the members who gave evidence, we are clear and we support our members wholeheartedly that they acted correctly. They called it out. There was 4 or 5 teachers that gave evidence, and the senior leadership team of Westside School did the correct thing and referred it to the department. But then the parents go and the SLT called the parents went to the department, but there is when we have a few issues with the way they dealt with it, yes.
You've questioned the decisions taken by those in leadership positions at the Department of Education and say you reserve the right to ask for resignations. Who specifically do you feel should be held responsible?
Well, we don't know, and this is why we want answers to the questions. The questions we are trying to raise is why recently we had a case that went through criminal proceedings and the person went to prison and, was dealt with. Why wasn't this particular case referred to the police? I've heard reports in the papers that the police perhaps didn't have evidence, but it remains to be seen. I want to know when it was reported to the police, because maybe by the time it was reported to police, a lot of the evidence had disappeared. You see? So these are some of the questions we want answered, really. Like, for example, why was the person in question offered a new contract at a different school, at a primary school, when the teachers had already highlighted those concerns in the previous school? These are questions that we need answering, because not only does it undermine, as a profession, undermine our faith in those who run the profession, Imagine being a teacher who has reported something that they know is wrong, and then it either gets ignored or doesn't get acted upon, and that teacher has to continue working in that place for a while, knowing that this is going on under their own noses. It causes a lot of anxiety and distress to some of our teachers. Furthermore, most or many, if not most, teachers are parents as well, so we can empathize with the parents of the students. We admire the determination and perseverance that they've had over a number of years to continue this and eventually manage to get the government to investigate it and produce a report. But it still raises a lot of questions as why the department perhaps didn't act appropriately, But I don't know. I don't want to assume things, but this is why we want these questions answered and why we've asked the minister for a meeting as soon as possible.
You say the teacher was given a new contract. The government has said that when the facts were determined and the investigation began, the teacher's contract was terminated. Is this not the timeline that the NASUWT believes happened?
Well, I know that it was highlighted while the person was at Westside, and it was highlighted by various teachers there. But then after that, that person was moved to another school, a primary school, and was offered a new contract, as far as I'm aware. But these are the questions I want to ask. That's why I want some answers,
The union says it cannot comprehend how no criminal proceedings have resulted. What does it make of the fact that this process has seen a teacher removed with no criminal charges put?
Well, I want to know why. That's all. We're only asking questions. We're a profession that is run by the Department of Education. We've done the right thing, our members have done the right thing, and basically what we're asking is we want to ask these questions and get some answers. We don't want to assume anything, and that's why I want some answers.
Do you believe the current safeguarding procedures are fit for purpose? Is this a failure of the systems or of enforcement, or both?
Well, the safeguarding procedures I know to be in place, should be competent enough to deal with these things. But as I've said before, you know, the profession might feel that their confidence is slightly undermined by the department after the actions. Unless we get some answers, we might feel, what is the point of listening to people in the department giving us lectures on safeguarding, for example?